Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's date is Sunday the 15th of June 2025. The year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai. All your posts put on chain. Right, let's see what we've got today. We've got some posts here from CSW saying BlackRock, the final chapter. Quite looking forward to reading that one. Another one as well saying the little coin that terrified the state. Yeah, can you believe it? Just like what, $33? You know, terrifying the state. Going to go over this video with this, I've got no words for him. Charles Hoskinson. We'll have a quick look at the price or figures really. Some 365 days of Bitcoin history. 15th of June is the 810th anniversary of the Magna Carta, where freedom started in 1215. And then that will be the end of the show. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the Terra node, you'll surely see.
Alrighty, here we go. So this was CSW's response into Wall Street Bets. So Wall Street's Bets said, this is the type of news which would push Satoshi Nakamoto, if alive, over the edge and just rug the whole thing. Drop the mic and say, my job is done here. And this was from Watcher Guru saying, just in, $11.5 trillion BlackRock looks to become the world's largest crypto asset manager by 2030. What was that CSW's put here? I just saw that. Look at that. That's he's called it Blackcock. Oh, I shouldn't be laughing. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. All right, let's see what he said here. Blackcock TM. The veiny institutional monolith that absolutely wrecked the entire decentralized revolution. 1 inch of liquidity at a time. You thought you were building a system to free the world, and now you're on your knees in a suit, smiling while Blackcock slides a custodial ETF straight into your meme pool. You used to chant, be your own bank. You chant, thank you, Larry, may I have another? Remember when Bitcoin was about peer-to-peer electronic cash? Now it's a glorified price oracle for BlackRock's spreadsheet. You've traded in Cypherpunk for ticker symbol. The white paper promised electronic sovereignty. What you got was Blackcock digital asset exposure product wrapped in 10 layers of trust and SEC filings. But hey, number go up, right? They've turned Bitcoin into, it's Gradecoin, into Wall Street Bets GIMP chain. Not a ledger of truth, but a branding accessory for structured finance. A volatile trinket and $1 trillion meat grinder that slaps a decentralized sticker on the packaging, while everything underneath is centralized, re-hypotheticated, and risk managed to death. You're not early, you're not orange pilled, you're in the basement of your own movement, handing over the keys and clapping for ETFs like as a gospel revival. Blackcock didn't, just said read in there, Blackcock didn't even have to try. You begged for it. You yearned for regulation, begged for institutions, and got exactly what you asked for. Bitcoin held in truth, sold in fractions, settled never, owned by no one, and praised by everyone on CNBC between segments on the rate hikes and sugar futures. Decentralization gone. Peer-to-peer forgotten. Self-custody too hard, bro. So now you're just left holding your little Satoshis, eyes wide, teetering laser eyes, with Blackcock pounds your dream into perfect compliant 401k slots and tells you it's innovation. Congratulations, but you built a rebellion, then sold it to the first firm in a tie with a compliance department. This isn't adoption, it's acquisition, and you didn't resist. You moaned for it, mourned for it. Oh wow, that is epic. That is it, honestly. CSW's got a cracking sense of humour. It does tickle me. I think that's really funny. But let's see what he says in response to Wall Street Bets. So he said, BlackRock, the final chapter. Exactly what Satoshi had in mind when he painstakingly wrote that little white paper. Not a system of peer-to-peer electronic cash, no, but a user to a BlackRock to God knows who, asset abstraction and IOU distribution mechanism, TM, complete with 2% management fee and a compliance officer named Chad. Truly, the revolution is complete. We finally built the perfect trustless system so we can plug it directly into the largest trust-based institution on Earth. It's beautiful. In a way, an oil-fired reflection in a child's tear is beautiful. Instead of be your own bank, we've landed on, please sir, may I have a tokenized share of my own purchasing power held in custody by an institution that also owns a controlling interest in everything. If Satoshi were buried, the rotative velocity would have torn a hole in the space-time by now. Forget fusion, strap a dynamo to that grave, and you've got the first perpetual motion machine powered by irony. Proof of what the fuck. And the Bitcoin white paper, please update the title. Call it a system of routing digital IOUs through a rotating carousel of intermediaries, market makers and asset managers, with occasional blockchain references for the branding purposes. Add a forward by BlackRock. We always believe in decentralization as long as it's centered around us. So yes, Rugged, mic drop. The light the stage on fire. The real job was done the moment people read peer-to-peer and thought it meant Larry Fink. That is brilliant. That is brilliant. You've got to love that. I mean, look, not only do we have like literally one of the probably wisest men on the planet, sarcasm, the lowest form of wit, highest form of intelligence, and that is what we're dealing with right here. That was ace. That was ace. And check this one out. More sarcasm. The little coin that terrified the state. An essay seasoned with iron fillings. They say fear scales with size. But that is a child's lie. What statesmen fear, what regulators garnish their teeth over, what bankers swill port over at midnight in real-time compliance sweats is not the £10 million wire with a 20-page fax that's never been a threat. That's the performance. That's the costume opera with registered sender, receiver, a blinking audit trail, and 3 regulators consigned. No, what they fear is the coffee. Absolutely, yeah. The coin too small to justify surveillance. A coin passed hand to hand, browser to browser, with no oath to the priesthood of compliance. They fear what cannot be stopped without embarrassment. They fear the casual, the unsanctioned, the mundane. Because you can explain why you froze a £10 million transfer, national security risk, fraud. But try freezing a man's tea money. Try telling a banker his tip must be KYC'd. You risk ridicule. You expose the leash. Absolutely. And so they strangle the little coin first. They call it AML, anti-money laundering. They call it standards, but it's not about laundering. It's about laundering consent. You see, physical cash physical cash always limited. Yes, awkward, bludging, traceable by serial, seized by dogs and declarations, but it was permitted. It had inertia. It was too stupid to threaten, too crude to carry subversion. Digital cash, however, thinks. It slips borders in packets. It splits into milliproofs. It proves without it moves without asking and speaks without syntax. And worst of all, it remembers nothing. No swipe ID, no terms, no clause, no freeze pending investigation. Just the sentence is spent. So they bait and switch. They take the vocabulary, digital money, and rewire it. They sell you rails dressed in latex, MasterCard's rails, Visa rails, railroads of revocability. But they call it convenience. They call it protection. But every transfer has a heartbeat monitor and a morality clause. They gift wrap obedience and ask you to tip the postman. What they built was not a replacement for cash. It was a chastity belt for commerce. Swipe to pay, yes, but don't feel like you've paid. Feel like you've checked in. Tracked, timed, allowed. That's not money. That's parole. And yet we've accepted it because we were told that scale is dangerous, that micropayments are DDoS attacks, that one person sending 1 cent 10,000 times must be malicious, that to stream a value like water is a violation of economic etiquette. They said that Bitcoin couldn't handle it, that it shouldn't, that it must be clipped to size. They turned a torrent into a cup, a system of commerce into a trinket for hoarders, not because it failed, but because it worked too well. They feared the torrent, so they built a puddle and installed a guardrail around the splash. And here's the joke: the £10 million still flows, has always flowed. Wires and banks and custody and comfort. But the 2p payment, the tip, the fraction of a sat sent for value not yet received, that's what they outlaw first. Because that's where freedom lives, in small, the silent, the trivial made foreign, or the trivial made sovereign. In a coin that asks no permission and gives no apology. So buy the coffee and never explain. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. He's spot on in what he says. Absolutely spot on in what he says. Like, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I love that. Well, let's go on to this nincompoop. Like, check this out, honestly. So Vivek posted this saying, Cardano founder just announced he's planning to buy $100 million worth of Gregcoin for the treasury. Here we go. Let's have a listen to this crap.
I do believe that it will not materially impact Cardano by doing a conversion of 5 to 10% of the treasury into stable assets and assets like Bitcoin.
So he's actually going to convert Cardano into Gregcoin after his first video that he literally made, where saying Cardano did everything that Gregcoin didn't, and we're the biggest threat to Gregcoin. But now he's just like, oh yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to convert it all to this coin that I said Cardano outcompeted. What an absolute load of shit.
And in doing this, we can
it's because he knows Cardano is going to zero.
Create a yield, and that yield on an annual basis can be used to purchase ADA and over time replenish the treasury. And if this
honestly, just literally, this is just so this is literally the narrative. It's like the bank's facade. Oh yes, so we've got the central banks, but then we've got the treasury, but then we've got HMRC, and it's kind of like everything gets lost in there. Yeah, that's right. So what we're going to do, we created it around nothing, and then we're going to buy Gregcoin, and that's going to replenish the Cardano treasury, and that's going to be all right for you. It's absolute horseshite.
Program is successful, then we can actually continue that strategy on an annualized basis, and over a period of 5 to 10 years, potentially grow to a $1 billion plus stablecoin treasury and Bitcoin treasury to augment and enhance the ADA value in the treasury.
Of course, that's right. Yeah, it's all about benefiting ADA. That's right. That's why we're going to buy another coin, because it benefits ADA to buy another coin. We're going to convert ADA to buy another coin because that's going to benefit ADA.
That we have. This sets us up for great returns and for a pretty stable floor for the ecosystem as a whole, like you would want in any good sovereign wealth fund. I do believe that...
Honestly, absolute shite. Absolute shite. But I mean, shitcoin is shit for brains. They still believe people like this. Honestly, oh, he seems to know what he's talking about. Like, good grief. Just listen to what he's actually saying. It's so ridiculous. Right, let's have a quick look at the figures then. You've got Bitcoin versus USD. So it's just gone up a bit over the last day or two. 31.53. Let's have a look versus the big dog. So it's just gone up since the last couple of days, but sort of they're trying to push it down on purpose. And nothing really to write home about just yet, but just stick to your guns, people. That's what I would say. Check this out. So yesterday, 14th of June 2009, this was one of the the Marty Malmy emails. It was said, I created a moderators group to give my Satoshi account as much editing control as possible without the ability to overthrow everything. And that was email number 21. On the 15th of June, so this is the anniversary of today, check this out. On 12/15, Magna Carta, which is a name for the Great Charter of Freedoms, commonly called Magna Carta or sometimes Magna Charta, the Great Charter, is a royal charter of rights agreed by King John of England at Runnymede near Windsor. On the 15th of June 1215, first drafted by the Archbishop of Canterbury, Cardinal Stephen Langton, to make peace between the unpopular king and a group of rebel barons. Well, they weren't actually rebel barons. These were barons that had been asset stripped by usury that had been brought in by William the Conqueror after he won the Battle of Hastings against King Harold in 1066. His financial backers purposely wanted to introduce usury in order to asset strip the barons, and now they're calling them rebel barons. No wonder they were pissed off. It promised the protection of church rights, protection for the barons from illegal imprisonment, Illegal imprisonment, yeah, I mean, access to them, you've got to pay us, we'll put you in prison. Access to swift and impartial justice, and limitations on feudal payments to the crown to be implemented through a council of 25 barons. And again, we got Article 61 of the Magna Carta, where the barons can petition the Queen if he's broken the contract, which again, has happened when high treason was committed and the surrendering of sovereignty was given way on the 1st of January 1973 when Britain joined the EEC. It's massive. Also on the 15th of June 2023, check this out, there was the case management conference for the Copra case held. Large flows of BTC mined to exchange outflows. I remember that was huge. There were huge outflows of BTCs onto exchanges. Like, whoa. Yeah, the case management conference, that was, 2023, 2 years ago. Time flies when you're having fun. My goodness me. Right, talk about time flies. That's 15 minutes. We'll leave it there. I hope you enjoyed it. So as ever, if you enjoyed these updates, please ding your donations for appreciation to either Satoshi@Semi.com, Handcash.io, Rockwallet.me, Simply.cash, Related.com or Senti.ch. I might not be able to do a show for the next few days just because I'm busy, but I will try and do one if I'm available and I've got time. But until then, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
2 years ago, you got SegWit, which we lied and cheated and stealed, and I was part of the lying and cheating and stealing to get SegWit, to get Lightning, which, by the way, had critical vulnerabilities and lost people's money.
The king still has one more move.
Remember, Bitcoin is BSV. Everything else is BS.